So that's super important.
Dude. The most comparable thing to this is going to be the Techniques.
It's like all the perks of a really top-end turntable with a better price point.
You can really upgrade this turntable to be really, really nice.
That's crazy how fast that is.
Not only that, the platter stops. If you were with us in a store and we were trying it for the first time with you, that's what I want to give in this type of format. Like,
Off the cuff.
there's no script.
It's just exactly what we feel about this stuff.
You're getting me like, I don't know what this does. What does this do? Oh, wow. Like, that's real. If you don't subscribe to the channel, make sure you do that. What's up, guys? My name is Lenny, and this is Spencer. And if you're new here, we've been in the hi-fi industry for about a decade now. We have a hi-fi store, and you're watching this video because you want to learn about the AT-LP8X. And we've literally tried every single Audio-Technica turntable that's ever been made. So we know a little bit about the brand, and the AT-LP8X is their brand new flagship turntable.
I've been a big fan of Audio-Technica for a long time. I think they make great turntables for pretty much every price point, but my biggest thing, what I've always really been looking for from them, is a really nice semi-auto turntable, Lenny. Like, this thing is crazily well built.
Yeah, that's something that they've really never had. Is, I don't want to say it's an audiophile table because, I mean, it is, but it's under $1,000, so it doesn't have the audiophile price point. But it's really well built. And so the closest example to this would be like maybe the LP5X, is as far as looks and as far as build. But the LP5X is way lighter. It's more plasticky, which is odd because it's not, but it is. If that makes any sense. Yeah. The LP7 is probably the closer materialistic, like how it feels, but it's even much heavier than that. So I think the thing that they've never had was just that straight, really nice build quality with the automatic. But not only that, so the LP5 was a direct drive. The LP7 was a belt drive. So they've never had a high-end direct drive turntable until now.
And I want to say, I'm a big fan of the matte finishes as well. I think for me, when turntable companies go gloss, you get fingerprints on them. Inevitably, right? Like, this thing is meant to be touched, right? It's a turntable. You're going to flip records. People are going to go up to it and be like, whoa, check this thing out. And always leaves a fingerprint. What I like about the matte, no fingerprints.
I've got freaking scratches all over this thing already. I don't care.
Part of the charm.
I use it. In reality, this is my turntable currently. This is, and probably the only one. I mean, I'm sure more turntables will come through here. Heck, I've got stacks of turntables that come in that for us to check out and have fun with. But this is like my hi-fi system turntable. We took it off the rack that's back behind you guys there, behind the camera, and just set it up on the table.
Yeah.
And when we're done, it's going back.
Is there an auto lift on this turntable?
Is there an auto lift?
Is there an auto lift?
So at the end of the record, it does lift up. So we can show that. I brought a plug.
Oh man.
So we're gonna plug this in for you guys just so you can kind of see what it does. So that was the whole reason that I went and got a record to put on it instead of just showing you guys the rubber mat. So now we actually got it plugged in. So I don't know if they can see it, but the power button lights up blue. The lift lights up red. If you want the lift activated, I guess. So you hit start. It turns. I don't think it's a fully automatic.
No, it's not. So it's a semi-auto. So you have to actually hit that lift button.
You'd think I know that. So I do have a story about this turntable.
Oh man. Because this is what I saw earlier. When you hit the lift button, it will totally lift up. You cue it up. So hit the lift, and you move it over.
What I haven't told you is that even though this is my turntable, there you go. Okay.
So you lift, then you place it. So it's nice because it gives you that like second to like really align where you want to go. I only played a couple songs earlier and was like blown away, but I didn't go to the end of the record.
So. Nice. All right, check this out. So when this first was released, I actually got to see the very first one.
What?
So I was up in Ohio at Audio-Technica, and I was hanging out with those guys up there. We were filming some videos that are on this channel, and they came in. So we took one back to the house and we tried one out. So I couldn't show this because this was not announced at this time. But it was like a prototype model that we got to play with. So I've got to play with it quite a bit. But watch, if you go towards the center, we're going to hit lift down. And what it'll do, what's cool about the semi-automatic lift is once it gets to the middle of the record, it sits there and then, wow, that was actually really quick.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so...
oh, man. I was going to say, I think a lot of these semi-auto turntables, they kind of linger in the middle, typically. And so you kind of like worry about like, okay, over time, is this really going to wear out my stylus? That was fast, man.
Hold on. Did I like do it wrong? Like that was really fast.
What you did is you put it right on the dot.
Let's do this again. Whoa. I don't remember it operating that fast. So that's really cool. So you're right. Usually when you do this, it takes a while.
It like usually is like 10 rotation, 8 to 10.
So like the Music Hall Classic was the one that we used probably the most.
Yeah.
Was that a belt drive?
Belt drive.
That was okay. So that's what the issue was. Yeah. So this being a direct drive, you can literally just like it operates on a motor like that, right? So you can just start, drop. So it's a very quick motor, and that's one thing that they kind of touted about this, that the motor was really quick.
I will say what I like about this table 2 line is, again, I mean, it's just not a build quality. It's built like an absolute tank. I think everything about it is very sleek. And it's very simplistic. It's kind of like the don't overdo the features on it and give people exactly what they're looking for. Stylus that comes on it, I think, is the VM95 right?
It's an E, but it's in black. The E usually comes in green. Wow,
that's nice.
So what's crazy is, yeah, you like don't overdo it, but I think they did overdo it, right? But they did it just enough. Like this is exactly what you want in a turntable. So it's heavy, and I don't know if you saw this. So let me show you something else. I'm just going to use. Everybody's going to be yelling at me in the comments because I'm doing this backwards, and I really don't care. Hit me up in the comments.
Touching another
Let
turntable.
me know how awful I are. I don't care. It's my turntable. Do what I want. You're also going to hate that I touched my record, but whatever. I don't care. So nice mat. It's got a good mat.
Oh man.
Nice rubber mat.
Dude.
But what you didn't do is you didn't have the pleasure of taking this thing out of the box.
No, I didn't.
But I did. And twice, actually. Pick up the platter.
Oh, man, here we go.
Well, be careful.
Dude, this is like...
So there's something that I want to show you guys on the platter.
Whoa.
Right? So you see the motor and everything, but on the bottom of the platter, what you're not feeling right now that Spencer's feeling is it's actually rubber.
Dude.
And that helps with the like dampening and the I don't really know, honestly. It's like motion stuff. But it's really so the experience of taking this out of the box, it's so heavy.
Dude, that's not playing games, man.
No.
Like,
and it's just you got rubber on like the entire back, not just part of it. And it feels like when I unboxing this, when I pulled this out, I knew they mean business. And this is one of the first things you pull out.
Yeah. I will say, like, this is the first Audio Technica turntable that I have picked up and just been really mind blown. Again, it's just like down to simplicity and design. It's direct drive table, so I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but that is crazy, man.
Right? So that's crazy. The anti-skate, instead of it just being like a cheap control, feel that.
Dude.
It actually has kind of like a it's got like a hexagon type or
it's like
a socket
it's
kind of feeling.
Like a socket feeling.
That's the wrong word, but you guys let us know. It's wild. It's heavy duty. Like it feels like you're moving in control. So the other wild thing, it does 33s, 45s, 78s. The other crazy thing is the cables that come with this are like high quality cables. So they come together. It's a nice plated RCAs with a ground all together, but you can strip them down. You just pull them apart, and now they're separates.
That's
right?
Perfect.
and they're very well built. So you will need a little clearance. Like you're not going to put this right against the wall. Because they do, stick out. They're probably like that big. They come, sticking out the back. There is a switch if for some reason you don't like the semi-automatic feature. I don't know why.
I never understood that, but at least there's an option, right? If you're one of those guys that's like, you know what, turntables are meant to just be fully manual. I don't want to mess with those features. You can turn it off. I would keep it on.
If you're one of those guys, let me know in the comments. I don't understand that at all.
Man, I will say though, like even like the ground kind of lock on the back of it, like they didn't spare detail. Like every single thing on this turntable is just really nice. Another thing that I really like is the removable power cable, where again it puts you in a other class of turntable without like stretching too far. It's like all the perks of a really top-end turntable with a better price point.
Yeah, so, and not only that, you have the J-shaped tone arm, okay, which pays, like, homage to, like, a more vintage-style turntable, right, instead of the straight tone arm. Yeah. Then the other thing, it does come with the tone arm weight, right? So if you do have a heavy moving coil cartridge or a larger cartridge or head shell, you can add that weight to the back of your tone arm there, just give it some more weight. And then the other thing you may not know, it actually has a brand new model head shell. So, and it's the AT-LP8X. So that's a brand new head shell, brand new to this model. You can get it separate. So it's about a $60 head shell, I believe. And same with the cartridge. It's about a $60 cartridge that comes on it because, with these tables, they could put a better cartridge on these, of course. Anybody could do that. Like any table manufacturer could, but they're all going to do pretty much the same cartridge or same stylus on the turntable because it helps keep the cost down. And you can really upgrade this turntable to be really, really nice if you wanted to do that.
What I like about it is, so like in their other line of cartridges and styluses, the VM7 series, like 750. So,
which is the cartridge you guys should buy. That's the cartridge I use. It's on my other turntable right now.
So it comes with gold leads in the box of those. So what I like about this is this comes with the gold leads.
Oh, really?
It does. And
look at that.
Like I just even that I'm pretty impressed by, because usually like you have to buy like a pretty nice cartridge to get those. The fact that it's already manufacturer installed is really nice. I'm blown away right now.
So a couple other things about this, if you guys,
yeah,
I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it's fading in. Whatever, there it is. The VM95 cartridge. They did the stylus in black, right? So you have that black stylus instead of the green. We talked about that. But the head shell itself, the grip. The little thing, I don't know what you call this. Yeah. The lift lever. We're going to call this a lift lever today. It actually has a material on it, and you can feel it. Now that I say this, you're going to know. It has like a coating on it for grip.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that I haven't seen that before.
I don't know how to describe it.
It's almost like they put a rubber sleeve over it.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're like me... Man. And you just shake when you're trying to stay still because you're just crazy. And you're just always going like, if I'm picking up, that's not even on. If I'm doing, the reason I like semi-automatic as well, because I don't have to like touch the thing the whole time. So, but if I'm actually lifting it, this adds a nice grip, and it feels pretty good.
Now, I mean, again, I'm all about the little things like this knob here, 33, 45, 78. Even that feels more like heavy duty than it traditionally does. I don't know if you actually like moved this.
No, I only play 33s
at all.
Yeah. I don't.
It just feels nice though. Again, it feels like okay, we're in that upper echelon again. I also like. I was looking at the feet earlier too.
Oh, what do they look? Let me strap this. Strap this thing down.
The feet look nice actually. They look slick.
Are they adjustable?
Like what you'd expect. I believe that they're not. They're not adjustable at all,
but they move.
Rubber. Sorry, I'm out of the camera. They have a rubber kind of like isolation to them.
Okay.
Around in a coating, like that's again, it goes back to like just every detail. Again, like this thing is crazy, and it kind of like looks like it'll kind of almost like auto level in a weird way. Like if it's slightly uneven, it's gonna be stable.
I mean, it might do that.
Maybe not auto level. Stable is more the word I'm thinking of. Like,
Yeah,
that's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. Like Audio-Technica has always done a good job with their turntables. That like, so remember when we used to use glass shelves?
I do remember
those days. So if you're one of those people with the like smoked glass HiFi rack, I'm using a Quadraspire wood rack right now, so I don't have this problem anymore. But the bottoms of the feet, and it doesn't feel like this one. I'm sure it does the same thing.
Let me see it.
So the old
it definitely does it.
Yeah, the feet like suction cup themselves to the glass, and if you leave that table there long enough without moving it, you ain't getting that thing off. It's gonna be pretty tough. You actually have to. I've learned that the secret to doing that is kind of twist the feet, and it'll eventually pop off. But that was one of the things, and they did it on purpose because they didn't want the turntable moving, and that's good. It's good that they came up with something like that.
Lenny, if you were to get a table that wasn't this table, what kind of price point are you really looking at? What would you have to do to get better features over this?
See, the thing that sucks is this is exactly what I want in a turntable.
Yeah.
And that sucks because you'd have to like hard press me to buy a different turntable. And so that being said, the most comparable thing to this is going to be the Techniques.
Yeah.
I think they just came out with a new one like called the 1100. The thing is, the difference in that, so like you have the 1200s, the 1200 GRs, which are really, really nice. Like they're a different price point. They're like $2,500. Something like that, right? But they're really nice. Like I'm not.
Yeah, they
I
are.
love Techniques. Like Techniques is one of my favorite turntable brands, and but it's a different price point. Like you're not buying a $2,500 turntable and maybe comparing it to this, or if you are, maybe you're getting this and you're buying like $1,000 cartridge, like that puts you in the same thing and actually probably maybe sound better. But like the Techniques build is something different, like just in general.
No, it totally is.
It's more money. So, but the 1100 is more around this price range. I think the 1100 is maybe like $10.99, which is about $100 more than this. It might be $11.99, something like that.
But that doesn't come with a cartridge, though. Typically, does it?
I think that one does, and it has an auto lift. But I think the thing that might be different, I think if you're comparing, and I haven't seen this table, but what was the other one? The 1300, 1500. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
It was the 1500.
It's been a little while. So it has a little bit more of the LP5 feel. It feels like an LP5, I think.
Yeah.
And this one has just a different feel. Like, so I guess if you're comparing, like, what other brand of turntable would I consider instead of this? It would be the Techniques, for sure.
The 100C.
The 100C, that's the new one.
That's the new one.
Not the 1000 or 1100.
No. The 100C
all those
was
Techniques
the one,
numbers get me. I mean, you got all the vintage tables that are 1100, 1000 and stuff. What's that? $10.99?
Yeah, $10.99.
Does it come with a cartridge?
I think it does.
We're using our brains here, having phones with us.
So I mean, overall,
at least you have your glasses on. And you can see.
I can see. So for me, I think. All right, again, my favorite table previously was a Music Hall Classic. I thought for the price point, what you got, it kind of gave you everything you'd be looking for. That being said,
it was a belt.
It was a belt drive, and over time, I was looking for something that was more of a direct drive table. And I'm a big fan of getting a table that, like, the bones of it will never need to be upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this feels. This feels like the bones of this table are going to be good forever. It's a direct drive. The motor's going to go bad in, 30 plus years?
Well, I've never actually seen an Audio-Technica that didn't work.
Nope.
The only problems, like some people would have problems with an Audio-Technica, ended up being that they broke the needle.
Every time. It was the needle.
Head shell wasn't on enough.
One time a guy came in and the needle was so dirty, it was like, oh, like my record player is broken. Yeah. And I took it back and was like, no, it's...
You immediately know that you're
caked in dust.
Your Audio-Technica is not going to break. So that being said, another comparable turntable would probably be the Music Hall Classic.
Yeah.
The Music Hall Classic has that more vintage wood look. It's a good table. It's another go-to table. It has a semi-automatic lift. It is a belt drive. It's a different build on the inside. Okay, so like I've opened up the Music Hall Classic. I haven't opened up this one, but I've opened up the Music Hall Classic, and I know that it's a different build.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's fine. It's $400 less, right? So like if you're looking to save a little money, get something that has a wood finish, maybe that's the way to go. The other one that we haven't mentioned yet, which I think is a really good option, if you're also looking at tables in this price range, is going to be the Dual.
Yeah.
The Dual's going to be a little bit more money, and the Dual's going to be wood, so you're going to have that wood. It isn't as big of a plinth, and probably not as heavy. But they do make a fully automatic.
That's the 529. Because for me, I feel like, again, more the audiophile style would be this table, I think.
Yeah, I think the I love the 529. We actually also going back to first. I was the first person in the U.S. to get the 529.
Dang.
So we were the first people to use. We actually debuted the 529 at Capital Audio Fest, and we were the first people to have it. And I love that table. It's great.
I really do like that table.
It's actually our most popular turntable on our site, allleadaudio.com, and it's a really nice table. And I think that's like a comparable table, right? This is going to be maybe $200 cheaper or so. But it's a different build quality. This is definitely like a thicker build. In the matte black, which is really nice. The platter is heavier.
Yeah.
The one thing I think that I know about Audio Technica that you may not know because you don't spend as much time at their headquarters as I do, and neither does anybody else. Their QC and their testing process for everything is so I don't know what the word, thorough, deep. Right? So when they have a new idea, it could be tested for years.
So I remember you talking about this.
Okay.
And I remember it being an experience because I think even their cartridges, they've tested like an insane amount of time over and over and over and over again to make sure that it gives you the same kind of frequency response. And if it doesn't, to like a tenth of a degree or tenth of like a sound wave, that is not good enough. They'll make sure every single product is exactly the same.
Dude, they do that with wrecker brushes.
That's
like they're like, is the bristle gonna fall out after 5 years? Like that they're serious.
dang.
Okay, so like, that's why they don't have new stuff come out every year, because it gets tested so hardcore. And that's really good. Like it's the Japanese philosophy, right? The Japanese are very prideful about everything they make, from cars to turntables. Like everything, like they don't want it to break, because if it breaks, they want to break.
No, 100%. I think, again, all in all, this turntable is just another level of build quality. And especially, again, talking about other tables that get close to it in the same price point. For me, I think this is kind of best bang for your buck. And over time, what I personally would do would be upgrade the cartridge stylus, put it into a whole other weight class of itself. And then there's a table that you would have forever. I'm blown away.
I think that's the way. So you might say, well, it's an audiophile turntable, but it's under $1,000. Yeah, but you can upgrade the cartridge.
No.
And that's the most, if you're going to say, like, what's the most important thing about a turntable, is it's probably going to be the cartridge as far as sound quality goes, right? So this is like, for me, this is like the perfect build.
Lenny, the one thing, though, that I don't see is a phono preamp. Does it have one built in?
You're supposed to ask questions that I know.
I don't think it does.
But it doesn't.
And I think...
And that's good.
And again, I think the reason for that is, again, to eliminate as much noise as possible.
Gosh, I didn't even notice that, because I used the Parasound JC3.
Yep.
I used an external phono preamp, and I guess I just never looked at the switch because I just hooked it up.
Yeah.
It has an auto stop switch. It has a power button and no phono preamp. So that's cool.
So the idea there, typically, for most manufacturers is, all right, like, the less things we put into this, the less noise it can feasibly make, right? So by separating it out and not putting a phono preamp, well, it's still just going to output a phono signal. So, like, obviously, if like your amp or receiver has just the phono input, then you're ready to rock. If you don't, though, and you want to clean up the noise a little bit, that's where you need that phono pre. And for me, I kind of like that. Like, you're getting what you're getting from this. You are getting a turntable that will output a phono signal, and it will be as quiet as possible. It's not going to be noisy. You're not getting hiss. You're not getting a lot of hum. Attached to the ground, and you're ready to rock.
Yeah, I think one of the things with turntables that a lot of people don't realize, especially if they're just getting into it, and they're, once they get into it, they might be like, "What's the best turntable I can buy?" And how can I get the best sound out of my turntable? Like, those are all good questions. But when you buy a turntable, you don't want to think of it as like, how can I put this? If you're looking at turntables, they all sound the same.
They do not. They do not all sound the same.
Okay, let me explain. Let me kind of explain. Right, so a turntable. This is you guys are gonna hate me for this, already this is where we're going with this. The turntable where you can eliminate noise. Okay, so I'm maybe not talking noise.
Of course.
Okay, the sound is in the cartridge. The sound is in the stylus. The turntable is the operation.
I agree with that. Your stylus is the microphone.
So, like, this turntable, if you take this off, this turntable and a Audio Technica LP3, LP5, let's just make it more even. It's going to sound the same. But here's why I think this. Like, you're not buying. So, okay, let me write that down. I'm telling you that maybe $1,000 turntable is the same sound as a $500 turntable, which to me, and I could be wrong, but to me, that's how I would look at it, because you're buying the build quality, you're buying the longevity, you're buying the function, you're buying the quality of the parts. It's like a Lexus and a Toyota, right? They're both going to freaking drive you to work. Okay, so they're both going to be the same. Now, one may feel better. It might ride a little better. It might have a different, I don't know, sound system or something. But in theory, it's going to get you to work just the same way. But if you throw a turbo in that Lexus or in that Toyota or whatever, I don't know, not a car guy, it's going to ride differently.
Yeah.
Okay. So you put new tires on it. It's going to ride different. The cartridge, that's where all your sound's coming from. And all this is function, right? So, yes, I would 100% get this over the 5 because it meets the functionality that I want. It's the most important thing when you're buying a turntable. To me, I want an automatic lift. I want a direct drive. Like, these are things that I like. I want a plug that I can just pull out the back.
That's nice.
Right? Like,
and I think also it's one of those things you don't want to buy the same thing twice. I think every single person in audio has been in that where, you buy something, you cheap out a little bit on it. Well, guess what? In 2 years, you've replaced it. You're like, I'm looking at that. That's the weak part of my system. I don't like it anymore. I want something new. That's part of the hobby too. You want to always be looking at like what else is out there, right? I will say though, when you go up, what you're getting in build quality and operation of this turntable is definitely more sophisticated, less noise, lowering the noise floor, and making it as streamlined as possible.
Oh, 100%. I definitely, I mean, I agree. I definitely agree on that. Like, you're getting better build, lower noise, but, again, and functionality, you got the grips and you got all all the bells and whistles.
Bells and whistles.
And the quality, right? So, like, made in USA, made in, it's like that theory. Like, so not that, like, this isn't made in the US, but no. I'm just, it's in theory. Like, this is going to be a better build quality, but if you, here's where I was going.
Hit me.
If you were to buy the LP5 and throw a VM750 on it,
the SH,
it's going to sound better than this with the stock cartridge.
I agree. I 100% agree.
All right. So now that being said, you're actually spending more if you're buying or about the same.
About the same. Maybe a little
buying
more.
the LP5 with that cartridge. So that might be a reason. Maybe you don't care about the semi-automatic. You don't care about the extra build quality features or whatever. You just want a better sound, and you don't really care how you get there. That's where you're going with the 5. It's again, great table.
Now the LP8X with that same cartridge on it versus that LP5.
Oh, it's going to be better.
That would be insane.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. The experience is going to be better.
The experience is definitely going to be better. And it's also one of those things, I think, at least I'm like, okay, I have people over. We're going to listen to some records. Everyone's going to sit there and be blown away with this thing playing in the background. It's a little bit more appealing. I think people will be like, wow, like that's almost like this modernistic, simple look, again, with all the bells and whistles. Without spending $3,000.
Oh yeah. I'm all for that. So like, I'm not. There's some really nice tables out there that cost a lot of money. There's a lot of really nice belt drive tables. Yeah. There's a lot of really nice whatever. Right? It's not me. I like my favorite thing on a turntable is the auto lift. Yeah. Like if this was fully automatic, I'd like it even more. Yeah. The problem with when you add the fully automatic is sometimes it may take away from other stuff in the build, could add some more noise to the unit itself. This is super quiet. And the thing that this does, like if we compare it to the Music Hall Classic, is it lifted up, like I can't get over that. Like I don't remember it doing that when I tested it the first couple times. Man. And I cannot get over how quick, because none of the other ones come up this quick. No. Right? So
what I'm really impressed by, you know what it kind of reminds me of in a weird way? Back in like the early 80s, a lot of these turntables had the kind of 2-button system where it was a very smooth lift up with a button. That's crazy how fast that is.
Not only that, the platter stops.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I don't know, and I think that's in the direct drive. I'd be really curious. I'm going to have to get the guys over at Techniques to try to get a 100 in here so I can side-by-side these things.
I'd be really curious how that would line up.
Because I would like to race that. Because,
oh, man.
I mean, not that it matters, right? So the whole point of this...
I think it matters a little bit.
The whole point of this, in showing it off, it matters, but the whole point of it coming up is so you don't have to stand by your turntable. You can just leave the room, whatever, and that's why I like it. It does not that it's really hurting your stylus going around the circle. Some people could argue that. That's a discussion for the comments. That's, I don't know. Yeah. Put it on one of my polls. Does it make a difference? But... the real reason, maybe it doesn't matter how long it takes, but to me, it kind of does.
It kind of does.
That's sick.
Like, I'm one of those guys, I'll be the first to admit it. I've put records on. I'll leave the room. I'll walk back in 3 hours later. That thing will just be winding down. Fully manual turntable. And I hate it. So it drives me up a wall.
I think this, so here's where this would come into play. Get this.
Hit me.
You're showing off this turntable to your friends. So how many times have we demoed a turntable that had a semi-automatic lift? And we're like, watch, it's going to come up. Oh, no, wait, just wait a minute. It's going to come up. But I promise you in like 10 seconds, it's going to lift up. And then it finally lifts up and they're like, oh. But by then, the thrill is kind of gone. Yeah. Like if you're showing your friends this and you're like, dude, check this out. Watch what happens when I get to the end of the record. I bet your turntable doesn't do this. And then you just it gets to the middle of the record. You're like, check this out. I'm going to lower it, whatever. We're playing the end of the record. Dude. And it just goes up that quick. I must have put it right next to the center because it just popped right up.
Like, that's what's crazy to me. It has to be a thing where the arm, when it gets to a certain angle, then you're ready to rock.
Yeah, it is. It's done on an angle.
See, that's...
And the lift is nice. The lift actually has some felt on the top, I think. Or it's like a rubber. It's a rubber. It's not a felt. Sorry. What? It's kind of
it's more of that material, but that's almost like a little bit more durable.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Grippy.
Like it's not going to wear out.
The weight's nice. The head shell's light for sure. I also we shouldn't. I didn't weigh this. so I probably wouldn't play too much on the record. Not that I'm gonna, not that. So the cartridges on this is not my daily cartridge, so whatever. I don't care. It's not gonna hurt my record.
Whoa. Len, so on this turntable as well, it looks like you can fully adjust the tone arm. I'm not sure. Does that allow you to change angle?
Oh no! You know what that is?
Is it height?
It's a height.
So that's super important.
Dude.
So like, there's not a lot of turntables these days with that function either. So say you had like,
I've never seen it operate like that.
so I mean,
Usually this whole thing turns.
it turns. So what I like about that though is that means you can get a different cartridge on there that typically, hey, maybe it wouldn't have worked. So you needed a little bit more height. Like there's a couple audiophons out there, for instance, that I know are a taller cartridge.
Did you just say audiophone and an Audio-Technica?
I did, sorry.
Jeez, man.
So there are other cartridges out there that I know are a little bit taller. That would allow you to account for that. I think Sumiko also makes one.
Wow. That's just
Dude.
kind of fun.
That's cool.
Like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it literally, it rises up. I don't know how far it goes. Ooh.
Yeah, all the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's wild.
So, and I guess in theory, if you wanted a different platter, I don't know why, because this platter's sick, but maybe you want an acrylic 2-inch platter or something, like that would be pretty cool.
Even like a custom like dust mat or platter mat. A custom platter mat. Say is a little bit thicker, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, my stylus like isn't quite right. Bam, you can lift it up.
That's so interesting. So I've never seen that.
That's really cool.
And not that it doesn't exist. But the one thing that really just, and I know it's, and literally I never use the anti-skate. It's not something I do. I don't use it. Okay? Notice it was on 0 because I don't know. It's just not me.
Yeah.
I am, when it comes to turntables, and I love turntables, I have a record collection, and I'm just so simple. Like, I just want to hit play, be done. Like, I am a streaming guy. Okay? But I have a record collection. I like turntables. I have turntables in a couple rooms in the house. I do enjoy them. We have fun. We put, it's a thing.
Honestly,
man,
this is kind of like
but
the streaming person's dream of a turntable.
Having an anti-skate like that, it's just so cool.
It is. It really is. And again, I think just stylistically it goes with everything. There's nothing this would look bad in any system. Yeah,
I could. So the Quadraspire rack that I have is wood. It looks good with wood. If you have an all black system, it looks good with that. If you have a vintage HiFi system, it's gonna look just fine with that. Like, it's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna literally go with everything. There is a dust cover, and I don't use it.
No, I wouldn't.
Sorry, it's
one of those things.
It's in a box, and all fourth wall's breaking down. Before we did this, I had to dust this turntable off, and that's fine. I don't care.
No.
And I used a bag from. There was nothing in that Prime bottle. That was my Prime can. I used this bag from this Sanctus cable company, right? And I used it as a little dust cleaner because I couldn't find my AudioQuest one.
Made of microfiber? That's like a microfiber bag.
I think so. Dude, this stuff was sick. I just did a video on that, but...
Oh, man.
Look at that.
Holy
Isn't that wild?
What the...
I don't know. It's cool.
What?
Yeah, so the Sanctus cable is really nice. I don't think we have it on the website yet, but it's something we carry. And super cool. Like, there's even the little things that keep it off the ground. The plug is like super heavy. We have like a matching like solid steel power conditioner thing.
Everything is separated out.
Yeah. So, you could, if you wanted to upgrade. Wait, does this go
that side?
I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let's see if this goes in there.
Dang.
Yeah, it goes in there, kinda. I probably have to get a better grip, but it's heavy duty. Like, that's wild. So anyway, That's how I dusted the turntable. So if you were, what would you do for cartridge?
So for me, cartridge-wise, I would get... So one, I love Audio-Technica cartridges, and all the cartridges that I've listened to, I feel like they're the most balanced for every type of music.
I agree.
I listen to everything. I will put on...
I don't.
I put on soundtracks, I put on jazz, I put on rock, I put on metal, I put on hip-hop, and for me, I just feel like nothing is too hot. Everything is very smooth. It's very articulated, and nothing feels swayed too much in one direction, and it just feels open. The reason I like Shibata cartridges the most and Shibata styluses is because I feel like they were meant to get the best possible groove contact. And so again, I feel like it just gets you a very open, delicate sound. I think there's limitations to all of this. So on this turntable, what I would recommend is the AT-VM960 SH. Is it 760?
No, 750 is the Shibata. Yeah, 760 is a special line contact. So if you guys haven't seen, I have a little display up on my whiskey bottle up there. This is the different, and they probably can't see it here, but I got videos where we compare these. That is the difference in the cartridge. I know that doesn't mean anything because you can probably hardly see it. Yes. But you can see how they go in the groove differently and everything like that. So two totally different cartridges.
Totally different. And so for me, again, I just think best bang for your buck while getting the best possible sound, 750 SH.
Yeah, and
on this table would be just unreal.
I agree. Like the series, the two cartridges that I recommend all the time. And look, we usually link all the cartridges in the descriptions of these videos and all the turntables. Like if you're looking at another turntable from Audio-Technica, but the cartridges that we sell are the 700 series. Okay, the 95s, great cartridges. You can get them, in the links and whatnot. But the ones we sell are the 700s because we really believe that they're a major upgrade. They're worth the money. You're never going to have to buy another cartridge. And
once you go that direction too, you're not going to want to change.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a $2,000 budget for a turntable, you get this turntable, you get a 750, you get a 760, you still have a couple $100 left if you want to get a phono preamp, which I do recommend. So for phono preamps, this is not a phono preamp, this is a HeAT-SHELLS. Okay, just had to show that off.
This guy.
Yeah, right. So if you have a $2,000 budget, you're buying the Parasound XRM.
Correct.
So do you know what XRM stands for?
X-ray magnet.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Hey, you're so right. Spencer got it. So XLR, rumble, mono.
Mono. That totally
Isn't that wild?
Makes sense.
We've had this preamp for like 5 years. I never knew what it stood for. I was talking to Parasound one day, and they're like, dude, literally, they were like, guess what? We figured out what it means.
That's so funny. Because on the front of it, just so you see.
Yeah, just shove it up in there. They can probably see it.
Stereo mono, moving magnet, moving coil, rumble filter on off.
So again, like that phono preamp is actually, I think it's a lot cheaper. I think it's like $249 now. Like it's stupid. Yeah, I know. No, it's under $300. Maybe $299.
This one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
It's also as XLR. This should not be under. That's crazy.
I know. So Parasound just recently reduced the price on that. They only sell it direct, so if you want to get that, we have links in the description. You can go to parasound.com and get yourself a nice phono preamp for under $300. If you want to up the game, the phono preamp I use is about $1,500.
Yeah, about
the JC3 Junior. We sell that on alleliteaudio.com if you want to a little better phono preamp. And then the JC3 Plus, which is the upgrade, which is still about $2,000, maybe $2,500.
About that. If you're into
you can't quote me on these prices on this show.
No, but if you're into turntables and you want that next level of warmth and the lowest possible noise floor, that's where you go with the top tier Halo and JC series of Parasound. that's just where you go with it.
Yeah, I actually, Parasound's probably one of the only phono preamps I actually use, period.
Yeah. I think, man, Audio-Technica paired with Parasound is like...
It's a really good pairing. And Audio-Technica has a phono preamp if you want a, entry-level phono preamp. But this is really nice for an entry-level phono preamp.
Yeah.
But if you want to like up the game, the XRM from Parasound, the JC3 Junior is great. Our best seller is the JC3 Plus.
Yep.
Excellent phono preamp.
It's just, again, a whole nother level of build quality, a whole nother level of engineering. John Crow design. It's just wild.
Do you think people are still watching?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Who could not watch this?
I don't know. So this is interesting. So this is a new video format that we're trying, which is, it's not a podcast. This is just like a real...
Off the cuff?
It's just off the cuff. There's no script.
No.
Okay, there's no prompter. There's no, we just said, let's stick the AT-LP8X down on the table and see what happens. So if you're still watching, thank you. That's really good. That means we don't suck as much as I think we do. So typically, I do a lot of driving. I like to listen to long form stuff. I thought it would be really fun if we did something like this. So whether you're watching this on TV, that's the other thing. I want you to watch it on TV and not just on your phone. So this is a really good TV show. Put it in the background, do other stuff. It's fine. You can listen to us. We're not doing anything crazy that you're going to be watching. But I think being able to listen to us and just relate is kind of fun. We really wanted to share our new HiFi store, alleliteaudio.com with you. And I think that's the community means a lot to us. And when you guys are part of it, that's very important to us. So the people who listen to this all the way through, that's super important. We've been doing a lot on YouTube, not as much content lately because we've been starting up the new company. So sorry, there's not a ton of content. I'm trying.
It'll get there.
We'll get back to where we were. So alleliteaudio.com is our new company. We're adding brands all the time. So if you don't see it on the website, just call us. Our number is on the website. You can text us, you can call, and we would love, to hear from you and all that stuff.
And just so you know, we will pick up the phone. It's one of us.
It's one of us. So if we don't answer, leave a message. We should probably set a voicemail.
Yes.
But so if the Google subscriber that you're calling is not answering the phone, just leave a message. That's us.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put my turntable back and get it back in my system. I do. This is a great turntable. If you are interested in this, hit us up, text us, call us. We definitely want to hear from you either way. We're trying to do a lot in the community on YouTube. So I've been doing polls every day. I've been doing questions every day. I think it's fun. I've been doing polls every day for a secret reason that I can't tell anybody yet. So if you see a poll on the channel, which I know a lot of you do, please vote on the community page. Check that out. If you're interested in Audio-Technica and the LP8X, this is the only one that we are selling. You can get the other models in the description. There's plenty of other models from Audio-Technica if your budget doesn't allow for a $1,000 turntable. Totally fine. I get it. Yeah. It's all good. And if you need advice on those, we'll be happy to give you that as well. You can text us and we'll let you know which one we think you should get. I have people text me all the time. Yeah. Just like, hey, what do you think about, should I get this or whatnot? It's fine. You can do that. Boat. We're not going to answer you right back all the time. So the LP8X and the 700 series, because they're products that we really, really believe in. We love Audio-Technica. I can't wait to go back up and see those guys up in Ohio. If you've wondered what their corporate headquarters looks like, I have videos from their corporate headquarters where they locked me inside the sound isolation chamber with the lights out for at least, 60 seconds before I lost my mind.
That's crazy.
It was actually really fun. So being locked in an isolation chamber it was longer than 60 seconds.
Did you hear your organs?
You can hear everything.
You hear your body.
The fluids.
You hear your blood.
You hear everything. And so what's interesting is I was in there with other people and we weren't talking. It was just be quiet. And I've seen videos on YouTube where they try to break the world record of this. And I would love to do that because I'm pretty sure I could do that. I'd probably lose my mind, but I could probably do that.
I couldn't do it.
I'd lose. They have two chambers. We could go up against each other. It'd be totally fine.
I'd be done 30 seconds in. I'd be
get
like,
it.
no, I need noise.
This is a new format of a show that we've just never did before, and we're excited to have you be a part of this. And if you are still watching at this point, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. But I really appreciate it. Hit us up. Let us know. And if this format continues to work, this is the most fun format. I enjoy this.
I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. I think, going off the cuff, you're getting us raw. You're not getting any sort of filter. It's just exactly what we feel about this stuff.
You're getting me like, I don't know what this does. What does this do? Oh, wow. Like, that's real. Like, you watch a lot of people who put a lot of stuff behind reviews and stuff like that. And this kind of video I wanted to try because if you were with us in a store, and we were trying it for the first time with you, that's what I want to give in this type of format. So hopefully it works. I don't know. We'll see. There'll be, I know everybody likes my documentaries. We'll get there.
Yeah, we absolutely will.
And if you guys are at any of the audio shows coming up, we'd love to see you. We'll be at Capital Audio Fest, which I think this will air before Capital Audio Fest. Yeah. Tampa will be in Tampa in February. I like having a tour schedule so you can meet us. So we'll be in Tampa. I'll be at Expona. Expona's the big one. There's some surprises coming out with Expona.
Woo!
Depending when you're watching this, you may or may not know. So we'll see. But pay attention. Go check out Expona's YouTube channel too. We love to meet you guys. Come on out. But give us a call. Send us a text. All that good stuff. If you don't subscribe to the channel, make sure you do that. I should have probably said that earlier on in the video, but whatever. If you're watching this far, you probably already subscribed. But if not, do it. Because you should.
Yeah. But
the community page is very important. Polls, trivia, and community reaction come up. Anyway, whatever. We got to go. I hope you guys enjoyed the AT-LP8X. Check the description. If you're this far in the video, just text us. The number's on alleliteaudio.com. Why even go to the description? Just shoot us a text. All right. See you guys.
Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah. We used to do that. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.